There are catacombs, hidden under every public government building. Everybody knows about it. They've been keeping it a secret from you. They're always keeping secrets, and you won't stand for it any longer. That's why you built the helmet. You just wanted to read people's minds, but now you've revealed so much more. Welcome to Psychopomp, a paranoia-fueled fever dream that drags you into the depths of the planet to face the unsettling, violent, and downright twisted creatures that lurk within. Nothing is as it seems, the world you know is a lie, and strange secrets lurk around every corner. Welcome to another wonderfully weird episode of You Should Play, a show where I shove my favorite lesser-known video games in your face and tell you exactly why you should play them. I'm your host, Moose, recording from the dark depths of my underground lair, and this week we're diving into a twisted world of death, conspiracy, and fleshy anime girls. As an added bonus, because I love you all so much, I reached out to the developer himself, Karbonic, who will be providing extra information and answering questions throughout this video. Strap on your telepathic helmets, it's time to step into the world of Psychopomp. Before we begin, remember to smash that like button with your trusty hammer and subscribe to my channel for all things weird and spooky. This is a small channel, so every person makes a huge difference in my deadly expedition through YouTube's labyrinthian algorithm. Follow in the shoes of this endearingly paranoid protagonist and her homemade helmet, machine that lets me read people's minds when I want to, or Psychopomp for short, as she explores a secret world hidden underneath her very feet. Taking the classic gameplay and visual style of old-school 3D dungeon crawlers, Psychopomp drags the player through a dirty and disturbing world full of both figurative and literal monsters. So why did you choose the name Psychopomp for your game, the name of a mythological guide of souls in many religions?
The game's name is a bit of a joke. You escort quite a few souls to the afterlife in that game.
Karbonic then goes on to clarify, I want to state that the title of the game is not an outright joke, it's just humorous to me. In each of the levels, our protagonist ends the life of at least one being which should not be alive. In the bluntest way, she is a psychopomp. It's sort of a half joke, but it's also important to the story. Utilizing classic tile-based controls and a simple interaction system, the objective of the game is to navigate through the catacombs underneath various buildings in your city and bring an end to their twisted machinations. The world is full of creatures, some hostile and others docile, which you can interact with using sight, speech, touch, or, for the troublemakers, the blunt end of a hammer. Every NPC has something to say if you're willing to talk to them, and each interaction reveals a little more about the world around you, although sometimes it's probably better that you didn't know. So what inspired this style of gameplay?
My last game, Dreamwild, was a very fast-paced first-person shooter. I wanted to try a project which really slowed that down and focused on the exploration and interaction with the world. I've also always been interested in old-style dungeon crawlers and their unwieldy interfaces.
While interacting with characters isn't required, I'd highly recommend it for my next topic of discussion, the story. Psychopomp is one of those games that's equal parts strange and confusing on the surface, but hides a deeper layer of understanding for those who really take the time to explore and unravel its secrets. Whether completely tucked away, or hiding in plain sight, the lore of Psychopomp is stretched into a labyrinth much like the world itself. While there are 3 main levels excluding the final stage displayed on your map, sewage treatment, children's hospital, and public school, there are secret transient areas popping in and out of existence around them that further the mysteries buried within the game. Psychopomp wants you to put in work to understand its strange world and the larger forces at play, and it's definitely worth that effort. With Psychopomp being newly released, are there any secrets you hid in the game that haven't been discovered yet?
There are definitely mysteries that I haven't seen anyone put together yet. That being said, today most games are data mined almost instantly, and I can't help but feel like this does take away from some of the discussion of the mystery of the game. But I also see the upsides of it. I think that it's really fun to data mine stuff. There's all sorts of things you would never see otherwise. So I would never take that away from people. And even with data mining, I've still yet to see people put together the full story of this game yet. So I'm really excited to see where that goes.
Now, it's about time we get into this delightfully disturbing world itself. Psychopomp blends retro low-poly 3D graphics with 2D drawings to flesh out a dirty and grotesque world that's contrasted by stylish menu visuals and some truly beautiful sights. The color dithering, gritty HUD, lighting, and detailed textures without breaking the retro style all come together to create a disturbing, tense, and immersive atmosphere for the player as they navigate each themed area. As a result of this artistic direction, the entire game feels soaked in the protagonist's paranoia, from these environments themselves to the dialogue and fragmented lore within. What inspired you to come up with the main ideas behind Psychopomp, both visually and narratively?
I've always been a big fan of forums dedicated to conspiracies and the occult. I wanted to make a game with that sort of energy to it. I'm also personally a very paranoid person, so it allowed me to put a lot of my own delusions into a piece of work. A few of the real-world tips from the loading screens are straight from me.
Accompanying this environment is a cast of wildly distinct creatures straight out of your melatonin-induced nightmares. Psychopomp isn't designed to be traditionally scary, and it's this design choice that really makes the monsters stand out in their own unique ways. Where one might expect a creature with long claws or a killer with a knife, you'll instead find hollowed-out nurses, writhing teeth, and fleshy growths with smiling anime faces that'll take you right back to the end of Evangelion.
I personally think that discomfort is a much more powerful effect than animalistic fear. I wanted to make monsters that look more uncomfortable than outright threatening. I have this thing where if a monster is slightly goofy, it becomes way more frightening to me. The Chaos Eaters from Dark Souls are a pretty good example. The slightly silly, googly eyes all over their bodies makes them feel way more disgusting and disturbing to me than if they didn't have them. I often find myself a bit bored with monsters that have sharp teeth and claws and other classically predatory features. I think that being killed by something that looks somewhat pathetic is far worse.
The final aspects of Psychopomp that wrap everything together are the music and sound design. As you progress through the game, your journey is paired with a series of mellow and unsettling atmospheric beats that add to the tension and character of each area you explore. On top of that, each type of monster has its own little sounds to give character to their text dialogue, which is just really fun. Nothing feels out of place, and it all feels cohesive with the other aspects of the game, which is way more important than you'd think, since sound design can easily make or break immersion. As an extra cherry on top, there's also a little musical treat awaiting those who complete the game, so look forward to that. Seeing as you're a one-person team, did you also do all of the audio work on the game, including the vocals for the bonus song?
The audio was also done by me, and this includes music and the vocals at the end. I was actually really nervous about this. I've never put a vocal song in one of my games before. Luckily, I got a pretty positive response to it. I had this perpetual nightmare in my mind of some player getting to that song and shutting down the game instantly out of embarrassment. If I witnessed that, I might just lay down and die.
So what led you to get into game development in the first place, and what was that journey like for you?
I've wanted to make games since I was a little kid. I remember when I was 8 years old drawing ideas for game consoles I wanted to make. I've never really stopped wanting to make games, and in high school I poured a ton of my focus into making my first game, Dashboard. Making games is a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of really hard work. I'd highly recommend it to anyone who wants to do it though. It can genuinely be one of the most fulfilling experiences someone can have, in my mind at least. I still would like to make a game console someday though.
What was the development process like for you on Psychopomp? Were there any notable setbacks or breakthroughs that played a big part in the final product?
Psychopomp was made in Godot, starting when the issues with Unity came out last September. This meant that I had to learn an entirely new engine and workflow to create this game, which presented a ton of problems along the way. Godot is a fairly capable engine, but I still feel it has a long way to go before it can really compete with the likes of Unity and Unreal. For instance, Godot has no inbuilt level creation suite, which means that all of the levels in Psychopomp needed to be created in Trench Broom, which is a Quake level editor. There are also many enemies that had to be cut because of the constraints of learning a new engine and working with writing how enemies work. That being said, the animation editor in Godot is very good and intuitive to use, so I had a lot of fun working with that.
Are there any plans for future projects that you'd want to talk about?
I have a ton of ideas for what to do next. Whatever way Psychopomp goes in the coming weeks and months will definitely affect this, but right now I'm doing tests on various games. One of the games is about this shadow silhouette bunny that uses hypnotic powers to control a bunch of sweaty middle-aged office workers. Other than that, I'm working on the sequel to my first game, Dashboard, which is called Mekana. There's always a period of time after I release a game where I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do next, but I'll make that decision soon.
For those who are interested in seeing more of your work, what would you recommend for them?
If you're a big fan of RPG Maker games, especially weird ones, I'd recommend Dashboard. If you're looking for something more gameplay-based with a more abstract art style, I'd recommend Dreamwild.
Before we go, don't worry, my dear sweet viewers. I know what you really want to ask, and I already have the answer for you. I'm very excited to know, is there a chance we'll see more Psychopomp-related content in the future, or was this planned as more of a one-off experience?
Oh, I absolutely plan to continue this in the future. I have a ton of ideas for where these characters and these worlds will be going. I hope you'll all enjoy this story I've got in the works. It's gonna be cool.
If you don't already know, you can pick up Psychopomp over on Steam right now for free. So go check it out and give this weird game some love.
Thanks for playing Psychopomp, and thanks for watching this video. I deeply appreciate it. Make sure to wash your hands, I know you haven't.